Hey friends, Laura Kromzak here. Thank you for joining me with the Disney Slowdown. You are actually going to help me plan my mom's first trip to Walt Disney World. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Last week, we just kind of talked about some of the parameters that I have set up for my mom's trip in December. Some things that helped me make a decision, like how to narrow it down. We went over that. I have a planning guide on a Google spreadsheet that I would love to share with you. I went through that planning guide a couple weeks before I started planning my mom's trip in detail. So I will put that playlist right here for you. You can grab my Google spreadsheet. The link is in the description below. You can watch the overview of what the Google spreadsheet entails, and you can watch the first planning session of my mom's first trip to Walt Disney World. Both of those are going to be in the playlist that I just linked. So let's start on the park specific. And I think it's probably going to be easier if we start in Animal Kingdom. I feel like that's in my brain right now. I'm going to share my screen. So you can see here, I just went to disneyworld.disney.go. I hit things to do, attractions and entertainment. It took me to this page and it's going to give you everything. I went ahead and hit the filters. I selected from this drop down, I selected Animal Kingdom, and here's the filters that I went with. However, you will notice, like, I'm okay with dark rides, but I didn't want any big drops or thrill rides. If an attraction has more than one tag on it and you choose one of the tags, it's going to give you stuff that you probably don't want, like dinosaur. I know there's no way in the world we're going to do dinosaur. That thing kills me, but it's listed as dark, small drops, and thrill, I believe. So it showed up on my list. I just didn't want something to be removed if I didn't select dark on there. So let's see what we have. All right, so here is Animal Kingdom. Another thing, I wish there was a way that you could really use this as a planning guide. I can't select the dates that I'm going. This is really just today. So the day that you're doing your planning, that's what's going to show up. I know we're not doing dinosaur. There's no way in the world. We're not doing Expedition Everest. But you see, I put dark is fine. Small drops was fine, but I didn't choose scary. So dinosaur was still on there because of dark and small drops. Everest, I did dark. Dark was the only one. I did not do thrill rides and I do not do big drops, at least on my filter selection. But because it was still dark, it's on there as well. We are, however, going to do Festival of the Lion King. And what I talked about last week is that there shows, you will notice if you're trying to do any pre-planning, the shows are not going to have any times published. So then I kind of panicked when I did this. I went to my Disney Experience app and I was like, okay, we're going to be going to Animal Kingdom on December 16th. Well, there were no shows for Lion King. There was no shows for Finding Nemo. And I freaked out a little bit. But I went and did a search. I think there's some comments here on the Disney World website, and it said, because this is live entertainment, they only schedule these shows a month or so in advance. Just keep checking back for times. So I feel pretty confident that we're going to be able to hit the Lion King, Finding Nemo. And I guess the question is, when you come in, so if you go to the bottom of this screen here and you come into the park, there's a lot to see. There's a lot of Streetmosphere. I think the Streetmosphere is pretty much right here on Discovery Island. We saw them last year and they were so much fun. But even on the Oasis right here, there's animals to see, there's trails. I don't know if my mom's going to be all that excited about seeing this. I have to say, growing up in St. Louis, the St. Louis Zoo is the best zoo that I've ever been to, and it's free. It's really hard to compare other places that you have to pay for to see animals because I grew up with a place that was completely free, and it's an amazing zoo. So I don't know that any of this is going to be all that exciting, but I do know that the streetmosphere that's happening in Discovery Island, you'll see Doug and Kevin. It's just kind of interesting to see those characters walking around. And then there's also right around here where the star is, that might be it actually. Yeah, the Viva Gaia Street Band. I think there's actually a stage there if I remember correctly. So it's kind of fun to just hang out and watch the live entertainment. I do like to plan snacks, your drinks, where you're going to get the water. I like to have all that in a plan. And I think that Finding Nemo, see, Finding Nemo typically has an 11 a.m. performance, and Festival of the Lion King starts at 10. Now, if, and we haven't heard this either, but if A Bug's Life is still happening, I would want to hit that first. That happens like every 10 minutes, and I think that'll be fun. I think mom will enjoy that. I'm pretty sure that she has seen that movie, A Bug's Life. I think she'll understand it. Walking around Discovery Island and just looking at the Tree of Life, like that's super impressive too. So it's really fun to go behind the Tree of Life after you get out of A Bug's Life. And there's paths all over Discovery Island just to see the parks from different angles. Now, they do a feathered friend in flight here, I believe, and the birds then fly over here, and then they do like a winged encounter show in this pavilion there. So again, it's going to depend on those times. I know that just walking through Dino Land is kind of cool to see. We're definitely going to want to see the Finding Nemo and Big Blue and Beyond. That was a really cool show. Walking around to see Asia and maybe even doing the Maharaja Trek, which is back here. And then walking around to Africa. Definitely going to see the Lion King. Those are going to be our main priorities. If she wants to try her hand at the animation experience, then we will hop on the train and go back here to Rafiki's planet. But that's going to be for a mom to decide. Would you like to try to draw a character and try the animation experience, or do you just want to skip it? It's totally fine. We also have Gorilla Falls on the inside here. And then this is Kilimanjaro Safari, this brown road. You can see the little bus right there. But you can go inside and walk this. I think that will be enjoyable. So let me switch over to there. I've got my own spreadsheet, Disney in December. We're in Animal Kingdom. Okay, so the shows are definitely going to be Finding Nemo, Lion King, Bugs Life. What is that? I think it's called Winged Encounter. And then the question is, does she want to do the animation experience? We have done it a couple of times. There we go. I know you're yelling at me, right? We have done it a few times and I enjoyed it. It's fun, but again, this is her trip. This is not about what we want. We have passes, we can go all the time. This is what she wants to pack in. The Finding Nemo show, the Lion King show, those are really only like 30 minutes. You got to give yourself like 30 minutes to get in, then a 30-minute show, and then maybe 5 minutes to leave. Bugs Life is usually a 10-minute wait. It's a 10-minute show. That's not going to be much time. But here you're talking about, this is 2.5 hours plus, the Lion King is way over here in Africa, and Finding Nemo is way over here on the other side of Dino Land, right before you get to Asia. And there's a whole lot of ground in between. Thankfully, the Bugs Life is right there in the middle, but that's probably the first place that we're going to hit because it is continuous. And as soon as we get there, there will be shows starting as long as they haven't shut it down for refurbishment yet, which I hope that they haven't. So we'll just have to decide which direction we're going to go. I don't think there's really any rides that are going to be a priority. Maybe Navi River Journey, but Mom, have you even seen Avatar, the movie? Like, I don't think that you have. So it's kind of cool, but is it necessary in life? No. What about your up characters? There's not usually a line for Kevin. He's usually just walking around and then you snap a picture of him. He may stand still for a minute, but he doesn't just have like well, I guess it's a she, isn't it? She doesn't have just one location where she stands and you get up and get a picture and everybody lines up. I love watching the boats come through, the flotillas with the characters. Doug and Russell were on a flotilla. Timon and Pumbaa are on a flotilla. Those are fun. I like to see those. So I'm gonna put like here flotillas. You know what I should do too? I probably should insert a column. Let's go ahead and call it attractions. I know that Disney calls everything an attraction, but I like to divide it out because the shows are attractions, the rides are attractions, you know. But here's one that I think really is attraction, and that's going to be the trails. Maharaja Trek, Gorilla Falls, Rafiki's Planet. Although if we go out to the animation experience, we'll be going to Rafiki's Planet. We may not explore much out at Rafiki's Planet. I don't care if we go to the petting zoo, you know, or learn about their goats. We've done that too, but Mom's not going to care about that. I may just remove that and we'll leave it. Whatever. Mom, weigh in. You need to, this is your deal. I think this is pretty much going to be the majority of our focus at Animal Kingdom, and it's going to take a while trying to time all this stuff. I mean, the Winged Encounters and the Feather Friend in Flight, all of these have definite starting times and ending times, and they only do a few shows a day. Same with Lion King and Finding Nemo. So getting to all these places and hitting them all in one day, like that's a day in itself. Then I definitely want to say Tree of Life projection show, which I know happens, but we don't have any confirmation yet. And you probably aren't going to hear about any of that until after daylight savings, which is going to be what, the first weekend in November, I believe. So that's definitely going to be a priority, and possibly walking around Pandora after dark because I think it's kind of cool, but there's nothing special that's happening there. I like the glow in the dark, the bioluminescence. All right, let's go back here, make sure that we hit everything. The Wildlife Express train. That's the one that goes out to Rafiki's Planet. Yeah, so that's the one that goes to Rafiki's Planet. It's not like the train in Magic Kingdom that goes all the way around the park. So your enchanted extras, there's nothing on there that we're going to do, but if you're looking for an extra experience, you could probably at least get more information about it here or book it. All right, I wanted to look at eating, things to do, dining. I don't want reservation. I do love all of the variety of food, especially the quick service that you are going to find at Animal Kingdom. We love to eat around the world, so this is kind of perfect. Now, my mom, she eats gluten-free. If she has a little bit of, you know, cross-contamination, it's not that big of a deal. But for the most part, we want to stick to the gluten-free options, and we're going to be doing quick service. So if I filter in the quick service, creature comforts, no. That creature comforts is the Starbucks location. There's always going to be a line, always, always, always. You cannot mobile order at any Starbucks inside the parks. You can use your mobile order and your Starbucks app and your points and your gift cards and whatever at Disney Springs, but not at the ones inside the parks. There's always a huge line, not worth it. Go to Joffrey's, try something new. You're in Walt Disney World. Now, for the most part, we're going to have snacks in our park bag, you know, especially protein. My mom isn't going to want to focus on anything that's sweet or sugary, you know, watching those blood sugars, but also we're staying gluten-free. We're going to focus on protein, getting good water. I did a travel by map of each of the parks, and I point out the good water because that's a priority for us. So if you haven't seen those and you want to know, like, where can I get free courtesy water that doesn't taste like dirt or sulfur in the case of Orlando, I will link that playlist for you right here. There's actually quite a few places. It's amazing to me that Magic Kingdom has the worst water. I think Tomorrowland takes the trophy for the worst water, which I don't know what that says because Tomorrowland is supposed to be right so in the future and so progressive, and yet the water tastes like sulfur. It's horrible. So this, you can see just the different restaurants around the park, different quick service locations. You're going to have to go to your My Disney Experience app. It's always going to open up on wait times for Magic Kingdom. Do dining and then filter Animal Kingdom. That's where we are right now. You're going to be able to see all of your dining options and what has mobile order. You can get onto the My Disney Experience app and you can look at all the menus. So Tule Canteen. So if we do view the menu, I think kids, beverages. Here we go. You can find at the bottom of your list, you can find your allergy menus. So a gluten, wheat, allergy friendly combination bowl, the chimichurri braised beef and wood grilled chicken is gluten and allergy free. The shrimp bowl, here's another one. So you can find items that are going to be allergy friendly. And you even got an egg allergy friendly here, which is nice. I don't know if they have any others. Let me see what they say. Oh, fish and shellfish allergy friendly. So some of the restaurants will have those. You just have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's a couple of items at Food and Wine that have pecans on them, but they look like they're not cooked with pecans, like pecans are sprinkled on top. I would like to try those possibly. I would have to ask them to take the pecans off or put them in a little container on the side because Samara is allergic to pecans. So definitely don't need to have any kind of reactions there with that. I don't know. Have you ordered any allergy friendly items? Have you had any troubles or any difficulties? I've heard that, you can always go and talk to the people preparing it, especially if you're at a table service, you can talk to the chef and explain the issues. They're pretty good about accommodating. You're not going to find a whole lot on the Disney website, but I did find an article with multiple links on DFB Guide about eating allergy friendly because I was a little concerned when I started looking through the restaurants. I'm like, where's the gluten-free options? Like, I don't know. I've never looked at it through that lens before until I started planning my mom's trip. And so I was able to find that. I'm going to put that link for you in the description box below. That way, if you're planning a trip and you've got some allergies, then you'll get more information there because they've done all the research. I have not. This is my first time even paying attention to any of that. But you can see there's quite a lot of restaurants along the way. We will probably lunch at one of these locations. I'm guessing it's going to be Asia, Africa, or possibly Pandora. We may do like lunch in Asia or Africa and then dinner in Pandora at Satuli Canteen because I think that would be a good location for her to eat. But it depends on which way around we go. That's why I'm kind of thinking that if we head Discovery Island and then over to Nemo and walked around and then caught a later show here for Lion King. And then we would come down and maybe eat dinner. Like you think, oh, this is nothing, right? This is a lot of walking and maneuvering through people and stopping and looking at the flotillas or watching the characters walk by or standing and listening to some of the streetmosphere. And there's going to be a lot more at Christmas time. This is just a lot of walking. I don't think that's unreasonable for us to make this full circle in a day and hit, really only a few things. Hopefully we'll catch the feathered friends in flight here and then be able to hit the winged encounter over here. I've never hit the winged encounter show like perfectly at the time. So maybe we'll get lucky this time. And then definitely Lion King is a priority. But even walking from Lion King and walking down here, I mean, you could cut through Discovery Island and check more of these trails out, but then you're going back over here to hit Satuli Canteen. Hopefully it'll start to be dusk at that point and we'll get to see some of the bioluminescence in Pandora, but then we want to go back in and we want to catch the projection show at Tree of Life before we leave. And Divine is a rare character. I think she was created when Animal Kingdom came out. She's not a character that you're going to see in any movies. It's not something you're going to know about, like Donald Duck, but she hangs out here like right after the entrance, and she only comes out a couple times during the day. I think like 12:45, 2:45, something like that. She's not easy to spot either because you could walk right by her and not even notice. She's covered in vines. She's totally camouflaged, but she's beautiful to watch move. I was able to catch her on video and I made a short. I will link that here for you. I just think she's fabulous to watch, but she's really hard to catch. Now, sometimes you can check the characters. Let's go and do that. Things to do, character experiences. Because I think the characters are fun. Let's just check these out. See, they don't even have Divine listed right now. She is like right around here at the very entrance of the park. So you've got Donald's Dino Bash. You meet Mickey and Minnie in their little safari outfits right here at Adventures Outpost. And now Moana is meeting people over here. She's back in the back of Dinoland. We saw her when we went to go get our AP magnet. But Divine, I can never remember where she's at. If she's like right here or she's on the other side, but she's right there toward the entrance of this building here. Does somebody know for sure? Because I'm having a hard time seeing it. But I mean, it's right there on the oasis. There's a little wilderness explorer hut. I think it's right here. And collecting the Wilderness Explorer badges is a lot of fun. I am a Wilderness Explorer. If my mom wants to go around and collect Wilderness Explorer badges, we could totally do that too. But I've seen Doug and Russell hang out for pictures right here in this Wilderness Explorer hut. There are a lot of Wilderness Explorer badges. So even if you just grab the book and use it to keep your kids entertained a little bit, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I would not expect to get all of them. I think there's like 26 badges and they close early. The park may close at 7, but your Wilderness Explorer experiences are going to be closing at like 4. So just know that. If you found this helpful at all, I would really appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you can see when I post another video. Well, what do you think about our plans for Animal Kingdom? Do you think it's enough? Now, when Animal Kingdom closes, our plan is to go over to Hollywood Studios and watch Fantasmic, and hopefully Fantasmic will have a late show, and hopefully Animal Kingdom will be open until like 7 or 8. What do you think about our Animal Kingdom plan? What would you do? Is there something that you would prioritize instead? There's not a whole lot of movement, but I don't know that that would be a comfortable ride for her. Do you have any experience with this? Do you love that ride? Is it absolutely must do? I mean, have you watched Avatar? Is that like one of your favorite movies, or do you only know it because the ride was in there and you wanted to see what it was all about? I mean, we did that in Universal Studios too. I took my kids to Universal Studios and they have the ET ride and they have Men in Black right next to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, these are so great. And we walk through and my kids are like, what is this? So we had to come home and rent the movies. So maybe before your Disney trip, if there's something in the parks that you're just not totally familiar with, you might want to catch yourself up and watch some of those movies. Just saying. Well, thanks for helping me plan. I look forward to your comments and anything that you think I forgot, any recommendations that you have, I would love to hear it. And we look forward to seeing you on our next video, which is going to be food and wine. I'm so excited. We'll see you then.